Okay, guys, this is so fun. Earlier this week, I had the intention of creating a 4-part series, but I didn't want to do it from a conditioned place. I had these thoughts about doing a series, about creating webinars and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, no, that's not it. So I just left it alone, didn't think of it again. Went offline yesterday and was like, you know what? I'm free. I don't have to do anything until Tuesday. I'm just going to relax, sit back and enjoy the ride. And then this morning I woke up, went to the swimming pool, started recording, and by the end of the day, I had a 4-part series. So cool. So I recorded 4 series. The first one is Simplicity is the Key. Then the second episode is Putting in Your Destination. The third one is Getting to a Higher Frequency. And the fourth one is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. This is how the universe works, guys. I love it so much when we just set the intention. I didn't even have to set the intention. It was like a desire I felt in the beginning of the week. Then for a second, I wanted to create it from a mind space. I stopped myself, allowed myself to go offline, do my own thing, get into relax mode. And this is what showed up. An amazing 4-part on the road series. Enjoy. Okay, guys, don't know what's going on today, but we're on a podcast flow. So I was on my way to IKEA. I stopped recording the last episode while I was like pulling up the deck for parking, and I all of a sudden turned my head and I'm like, she fell asleep. So since she fell asleep, I of course couldn't go into the IKEA. Of course I could, but then she would wake up. I'm like, I'm not gonna wake her up, let her sleep. So I'm like, okay, change of plans. So I still want to go to the IKEA, so I'm gonna do that later today probably. So I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do now, right? And I really felt the desire to eat a very nice sandwich. But like I said, I don't want to wake her up and I don't want to get out of the car. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go back home, because at the little center that we have near our house, there's this place where I always, like almost every day, get my sandwiches, and I can just call them up and be like, can you please prepare my sandwich? I'll pick it up in like 20 minutes. So I called them. I'm almost there now. I finished the interview I was listening to with Jen Sincero and the other girl about like wealth and making money and all kind of stuff. And she actually finished it's so interesting because her go-to book is also The Science of Getting Rich, and that is like my go-to book as well when we talk about money. Like when I started in 2017 with changing my mindset around money, and you have to understand, like I was like in debt. I had a lot of debt, and I was only making like $2,500 at my job, and that was like my future, right? If I would have stayed in that job, I would have made that for the rest of my life. And it's just like so interesting for me to think about that. Like 2,500 is like crazy, right? I can make that in an hour. I can make that in a day. If I decide that I want to make 2,500 today, I can make 2,500 a day. So it is so massive what you can achieve when you change your mindset around money. And what I said in the last webinar as well is like, if you want to attract more wealth into your life, it's really about aligning yourself to the frequency of money. I literally see myself as a manifesting queen. Like if I want something, I can manifest it instantly. And like I explained in the last episode, my journey is more about getting clear about what it is that I desire than it is about my manifesting skills. Like the manifesting skills, I believe for every one of us, is natural. Like once you know what you want, you can manifest anything, especially as a manifesting generator. But it's about like getting that clarity about what it is that you desire, right? So when you get to a higher frequency, you automatically also know like, okay, this is the thing I desire. Anyways, she was ending the interview and her final words were something in the line of like, if I had to define wealth, I would say that mindset and frequency is the most important thing when it comes to attracting wealth into your life. So much more important than anything else. And that actually triggered me to record this episode, because I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs are so hung up on strategics. I am not saying that strategics do not come into play when it comes to my business. My knowledge around marketing, because I do absolutely love marketing, my knowledge about what works, what doesn't work, generally speaking, is very interesting. So I have a library full in my system, right, of things that I could do when I start a launch, or when I start, if I want to sell something. Like I know a lot about online marketing, but, and this is also the thing I taught in my Spirit Marketing course that I created in 2019, that when you want to build a successful business that allows you to make money with your soul's mission, it is always about the frequency first. And this is actually when I created the 70-30 rule, right? And when I was hearing Jen say that again, it reminded me again of how easy it is when we start launching. And actually the girl that was interviewing Jen, she was like, I still have to remind myself over and over again to do it in this way, because she now makes a lot of money as well in a completely different way. And she's like, my old identity was still the one that whenever she wanted to launch something, she would go into the strategics, right? And that mindset would be a secondary thing. But I think, like, if you look at all the successful people out there who actually not only make money but also have a fulfilling life, right? It always starts with the frequency work, and it has to be the biggest component of your work. So I want to ask a question for you, right? Because I know a lot of my followers and my potential clients, you guys want to make more money with your soul's mission, and somehow you might feel like you're stuck at a certain level. You just can't get to that next level. I really want to present you a very interesting question, because I feel like a lot of people believe that the reason why they are not making the money they desire is because there's something wrong with them, because they can't manifest, because they don't have the knowledge yet, because they still have to do a money mindset course, that there's like something wrong with them. That is not the case. There is nothing wrong with you. The only thing, and I'm getting goosebumps while I'm saying this, because like literally when I get goosebumps, please pay attention. This is so important. It is only about changing the frequency and also the sequence, right? So when I wrote my book, The Instructions to an Enlightened Life, it was like the main topic of the book was the sequence in which we are supposed to live. So there is like this 3-part sequence. It's like mind, body, soul, and you like all 3 are just as important. When we are like in the online space, we think like, okay, in order to successfully launch something, we have to do all the strategics. I have to be very good at marketing. I have to be able to do webinars, blah, blah, blah. None of that is true. You have to have some knowledge about marketing, sure. But like simply knowing that you could do a webinar is all the marketing information that you need, or simply know that you are capable of starting a podcast show is all. Like, you don't need extensive information about that. What you need is you need to get yourself to the right frequency. And in my webinars I explained this as well. Like, envision yourself like sitting in your living room, and you are currently seeing all your furniture, and you're just like, you can see everything that is in the room, right? But you cannot see outside that specific room. And that is what most people are in all day. They are stuck in their current reality, in their old identity. And sometimes they try to shift rooms. So they're like, okay, I don't like this reality, so I go to this different room. And then they go to a different room and they see different furniture, but they still can only see the stuff that is in their actual room that they are in. In order to create wealth, in order to create a business that is soul aligned, that serves the highest good of all, and that allows you to make beautiful, soul aligned, holy money, requires you to get to the frequency of soul aligned holy money. And literally you have to envision a elevator, okay? Because currently you are not making that kind of money yet, right? So staying at this energy level, staying in your living room at the ground floor is not going to get you there. And you can move your furniture around all day long. You can go to like different rooms. You can even go to a different house, but you are still at that ground level, okay? So you will probably notice when you listen to my podcast episodes that you feel like you're getting to a high frequency, right? It's like, ooh, this feels juicy. And for a minute you actually feel what it will feel like, right? If you get to that higher frequency. If you, for example, get to that second or third floor, right? Exciting. Ooh, wow. But imagine like surrounding yourself every day consistently with this energy, and even higher frequency of this, because like I said, my free content is a certain frequency, but my paid content has like way more that soul holy money kind of frequency, because that's like I've created that content because I am earning money, holy money, right? The holy money enables me to create that content. So it's very like energetically charged with that frequency. The Sophie that shows up there is really energetically charged with that frequency. So imagine yourself being able to like step into an elevator that gets you to the 10th floor. And then imagine what you would see, right? If you would put an elevator in your current space and you go up, you can all of a sudden see not only your own house, but you can see like your whole area that you live in. You can see all the streets. You can see how all the streets are connected. You can sort of tune in and be like, ooh, what like house do I even like in this area? You can like literally you can overview so many things. And this is what happens when we get to a higher frequency. We can start seeing things that we weren't able to see before. Okay? So I really, 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 really want you to understand that when you want to change, and there's a beautiful libelle flying over. I don't know what libelle is. A dragonfly, I think. It's beautiful. I really want you to understand that in order to get a different outcome in your life, it's not about hoping and wishing. It is not about just like saying like positive affirmations to yourself. It's about getting yourself to that higher frequency. And once you are at that higher frequency, a whole new world opens up. Okay. Thank you for listening. We'll talk soon. I don't know if it's going to be today again, or later this week, or maybe next week. For now, I wish you an amazing, amazing day.